You know, as a proud Levchenko, I have the opportunity. No, I have the courage to step up my Grandpa Vasily, Gramps Vasily. You know, he came out here and he worked his butt off as an old man and he built this amazing shed. And like, I don't know if you could see it, but there she is. And it's my privilege to now take on this masterpiece and put my own imagination into it and work some beautiful skills into this beauty, you know. And it's just time for me to do something with it, and I know what we're doing with it. This is gonna be the perfect little sauna. And it's not just a sauna, it's a banya. And for those who don't know what a banya is, it's pretty much a sauna except 300 degrees hotter. So you could really fry the internals of your head and everything else inside of you. Really get you cooking. It's the Russian style of a sauna. Actually, we'll call it the Ukrainian style, since we are Ukrainian and we don't want to, you know, get anything too controversial right now. Not to get into like politics, but like honestly, like whatever. So pretty much, this is gonna be a fun little build. Let's get going. We're gonna cut that out. Hold on. So let's get it on. So as you can see, we have this shed and it's pretty tall. I mean, it's probably, when I measured the top, it was 7 foot, so it's probably about like 8 feet tall from like the very tip to the bottom. And it was built by my grandfather back in the day, probably like, I don't even know, probably like what, 7-8 years ago. No, maybe even more, like 10 years ago. No, 13 years ago. Anyway, there was a ton of garbage here. We had to get rid of it. And because of all the pipes and like all this random stuff here, just sitting out here and just like being a big pile of dirt, ended up rotting away this piece of plywood and actually a little bit of the beams here too. So I am gonna have to do some framing work on here. I mean, for the most part, it's very solid on the inside. Everything's very dry. Nothing rotting in here. No leaks in the roof, as far as I could tell. But again, on this end over here, you can see, as soon as we get closer, you can see that there's rotting beams. The plywood was completely rotted away. I mean, I'll show you the plywood in a second. Even this bottom beam, which I'm actually kind of worried about, it's not like too bad, but there's spots of it that look questionable. Oh, especially right here. I don't know if you guys can see that, but like, yeah, that's bad. So we're gonna have to figure out what to do there. This is all the stuff that I have to pull out of it. I already have to do a lot of cleanup around it, inside it. Right here are the rotting pieces of plywood. I mean, for the most part, the top part of the plywood was fine, but then as soon as you get this bottom part right here, it's so dark. It's just like, it was just eaten away. And then this other one on the other side wasn't nearly as bad as this one, but again, just like, here, just get that out of the way. Just eaten. I mean, they ate it for breakfast, as you could tell. They did not want anything to do with that plywood. So this shed is about 8 feet tall. It's 5.5 feet wide and it's 8.5 feet long, and that's from beam to beam. So from here to here to the very edge of the beam, 8.5 feet, and then from this beam this beam is 5.5, and it's honestly like a perfect size, in my opinion, because I mean, you don't want anything extremely wide, and you don't want anything like too tall either. Here we're gonna end up just covering this. This is gonna end up being the ceiling. We're gonna shove insulation up there and then have some kind of venting there. We're gonna cover that up, put like a vent there, put a vent there for some attic venting. So from that post right here, this bottom post for the ceiling and down to the floor is 7.5 feet, I believe. So it's nothing too tall. It is tall, but it's nothing an oversized furnace won't be able to handle. And yeah, I mean, everything in here is very sturdy. We're gonna take out the shelving. We're gonna put shelves. So we're gonna have, the idea is to have a shelf going from here to there, but it's not gonna go to the very end. It's probably gonna end like right here, so that we can have space for our furnace. And likewise on the other side, we're gonna have the same kind of bench going here, and then again, space for a big furnace here, wood stove, obviously, because we're in the woods. And then up here, you know, we're gonna have, I mean, the first like seating is probably gonna be like around up here, because if you imagine, it's pretty high, so all the heat's gonna be higher. So we're gonna have the seating somewhere around right here, and then up here is gonna be the hotter area seating, and it's gonna go all the way to the very end, like the whole way of the whole alongside the side of the shed, and that's gonna be right above the furnace. We're gonna have to design some kind of way to insulate the furnace from the wood with tiles or rock. And we're actually gonna have the opening of the furnace sticking out the end, so it's gonna be fed through the outside. That way, you know, we're not gonna have to bring in wood through our small single person door into this small little area, and then, you know, having the trouble to start a fire and everything. It was just I just thought it would make more sense to have it on the outside. And with the door, so this door obviously is very, very wide. It's pretty much almost the width of the shed. It's probably like 4.5 feet wide, and it was a double door, and it's also very short, which I don't like. So I'm gonna end up making a 2-foot wide door, single door, and it's gonna go up 6 feet. So 6 feet is probably up to about right here. So I mean, it's not like, I mean, it's not gonna be difficult. I'm gonna have like, I don't know if, I haven't decided whether I'm gonna use what kind of wood I'm gonna use for the header and the framing around the door, but I'll just have to figure that out. I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, I'm definitely building a door out of scratch too. So the door is probably gonna be made out of pine, and we're gonna use the insulation here, this foam board, to put inside the door, just because I feel like it would be much easier to use that as insulation in a door. But as for the actual insulation for the whole sauna, we're using rock wool insulation. You know, just the normal R13 wool stuff you just buy in those bags. And then we're gonna line, right after the insulation, we're gonna line it all with foil. We're not gonna line the bottom, we're gonna just line everything on the sides and the ceiling, so it can be completely waterproofed and watertight. And then we're gonna have some kind of flooring. I don't know if we're gonna use tiles or what, but let me show you. Over here we have tiles leftovers from the house, I believe, and we've had them here for a very long time. We have rocks here. It's like I don't even know what they are, but they're like a wall, like stone wall for our fireplace that we have in our living room. And I was thinking we can use this to line the back wall to make it, give it like a real nice touch. And obviously we're going to use cedar wood on the inside. And then for the outside, we're not doing siding just yet. Even when we finish the whole sauna, we're not gonna use siding just yet, just because, you know, this is a budget build. But we will think of something eventually. Hopefully we can use some kind of you know, wood style siding, like cedar shake or something. I mean, not cedar shake, we'll see, something cheaper so we don't have to bust our wallets. But yeah, so this right here, I was thinking to use this as flooring. I don't know if we have enough, but I just really like the way these look. I don't even know to which bathroom they're from. We also have, let me show you these. So have these like pink looking ones, which are like real nice. I really like these. But this is definitely as budget as the build gets. This is like, I mean, this is a good amount. We'll see. I mean, worst comes to worst, you know, guess we can just mix and match, make some kind of pattern and play around with it. But yeah, that's our BANYA build as of so far. And we'll keep you guys posted. Yeah.